A triumphant naval ceremony turned into a national embarrassment for North Korea this week, not because of foreign interference or sabotage, but due to what Kim Jong-un is now calling a criminal act of domestic incompetence. The country's most advanced warship, meant to showcase its military modernization, lies crippled, half-sunken, half-stranded, as international observers question whether North Korea's naval ambitions have outpaced its technological capabilities. North Korea's naval dreams capsize in public disaster. Kim Jong-un furious after destroyer launch goes horribly wrong. North Korea's latest and most advanced warship, a newly constructed 5,000-ton destroyer, suffered catastrophic damage during a failed launch ceremony at the Chongjin shipyard on May 22, 2025. The botched event, which unfolded before the eyes of leader Kim Jong-un, has not only drawn rare public criticism from Pyongyang's top leadership, but also prompted arrests, an internal investigation, and sharp condemnation from international naval experts. According to satellite images and North Korean state media reports, the destroyer slid prematurely down the slipway during the launch, with the stern crashing into the sea while the bow remained stuck on land. The result? The massive vessel was left grotesquely angled on its side, with its structural integrity likely compromised. International defense analysts have since described the damage as potentially catastrophic, warning that the hull could be warped, or the keel, the ship's backbone, possibly broken. In an unusually candid admission of failure, the Korean Central News Agency, KCNA, described the incident as the result of a critical malfunction in the launch mechanism. Kim Jong-un, visibly outraged, reportedly lashed out at multiple state entities, blaming absolute carelessness and irresponsibility for what he deemed a shameful event and a criminal act against national dignity. Among those held responsible, the Munitions Industry Department, Kim Chak University of Technology, and the State Ship Design Bureau. 3 individuals, including the chief engineer of the Chongjin shipyard, have been detained for legal investigation, KCNA reported Sunday, as an accident investigation team was formed to assess the causes and assign blame. While the state-controlled media did not publish official photos of the damage, commercial satellite imagery from Maxar Technologies and Airbus vividly showed the wrecked warship tipped on its side with the stern submerged in water. Naval catastrophe amidst modernization push. This humiliating failure comes at a critical time for North Korea's Navy, which has long lagged behind other branches of the country's military in both funding and modernization. Just weeks earlier in April, Kim Jong-un had proudly unveiled the Chohyun, North Korea's first newly built destroyer in decades, and pledged to accelerate the construction of cruisers and frigates as part of an aggressive naval expansion plan. The Chohyun, described by North Korean media as a new generation warship, marked a shift away from Pyongyang's traditionally Soviet-influenced aging fleet. Satellite footage suggested its design was loosely inspired by Russian naval architecture, a possible indication of either foreign cooperation or imitation. But the high-profile failure of this second, unnamed destroyer is now casting a long shadow over the country's ability to scale up such maritime advancements. This accident could be a major strategic setback, said Carl Schuster, a retired U.S. Navy captain and former director of operations at the U.S. Pacific Command's Joint Intelligence Center. It's not just about the technical failure, it's about what it says regarding their ability to deliver on their ambitions. Doubts over infrastructure and timeline. Kim Jong-un has ordered that the damaged destroyer be fully repaired and relaunched ahead of the late June plenary meeting of the ruling Workers' Party, calling it a matter of national prestige. However, military and naval analysts say this goal is wildly unrealistic. KCNA has tried to downplay the severity of the damage, stating that while there were scratches along the starboard side and seawater ingress at the stern, there were no breaches to the hull. The agency estimated repairs might take 10 days. But outside experts strongly disagree. Sal Mercogliano, a maritime historian and professor at Campbell University, warned that the stresses of such a botched launch could have introduced unseen structural failures. If the ship does not move uniformly during the launch, the hull can tear apart under stress, he told CNN. Moreover, North Korea lacks key naval infrastructure, such as a dry dock, a specialized facility essential for properly repairing large vessels. Without a dry dock, any restoration effort must be done with the ship still partially afloat, a technically demanding and time-consuming process. North Korea probably doesn't have a dry dock capable of handling a vessel of this size, said retired South Korean Admiral Kim Ducky. They'll be forced to improvise, which could take months, not days. And that's assuming the damage is even repairable. Symbolism versus substance. Beyond the technical failure, this event has reignited debate over how much of North Korea's naval modernization is real capability versus symbolic theater. Defense experts point out that despite the unveiling of these new ships, there is little evidence to suggest they are fully operational. There's no confirmed footage or imagery of these new vessels underway, under their own power, Mercogliano noted. We don't even know if they have functioning engines. This raises broader questions about Pyongyang's capacity to build and maintain a credible blue water navy. While Kim's rhetoric emphasizes deterrence and national pride, the reality of a warship lying crippled at launch tells a different story. One of overreach, mismanagement, and a propaganda narrative at risk of unraveling. Political fallout and internal purge. The failure is likely to have far-reaching consequences within North Korea's political apparatus. According to KCNA, senior officials may face public censure during the upcoming party Central Committee meeting, and further arrests are expected. Kim Jong-un has made it clear that accountability will extend beyond the shipyard to the higher echelons of the defense and scientific community. The entire episode offers a rare glimpse into the inner workings and weaknesses of North Korea's defense industry. While the country has often projected an image of technological self-reliance and growing military sophistication, this disaster lays bare the fragile reality behind the curtain. Conclusion: a damaged ship, a bruised ego. North Korea's second newest destroyer, intended to be a symbol of national strength, now lies as a stark monument to systemic dysfunction. As Kim Jong-un scrambles to contain the fallout, both political and technical, the international community watches closely, not just for signs of recovery, but for indications of whether North Korea's military bravado can withstand the harsh test of real-world execution. In the words of one analyst, it's easy to stage a parade. Much harder to build a warship that floats.